Shalom. All praise, honor, and glory. Going to Yahweh, Bashim Yahweh Shai, Bashim Crocodiles, double honors to the elders and apostles of the great millstone. Salutations to all you occupants out there pushing this truth with all honesty and sincerity, by way of the highways and byways, going down the streets, teaching and preaching, and also by the way of the internet. Shalom too to you, Aquaf, you very few sisters that's out there listening and learning. It's your brother Nayap, and I'm back with another lesson, all right? Another news update. Not another lesson. I'm gonna make a lesson a couple hours, all right? Or probably probably like around like 6. I try to make a lesson. But 5, 6 around there, try to make a lesson. Lord willing. So I got a whole bunch of videos I collected over the past like day and a half. So yeah, we just gonna get into it. It's for fair use, and educational purposes only. Again, fair use, and educational purposes only. All right, it's not for any type of monetary gain on any of these videos. All right. Also wanted to say, you're gonna see some hyenas in this video. You just got done seeing one, so you're gonna see like 2 of them for sure. But yeah, let's get into it, man.
That Israel's Christian population values that assure that Israel's Christian population will always be free to practice their faith. That's the only place in the Middle East where Christians are fully free to practice their faith.
Yusuf.
Buonasera Santo Padre.
Buonasera, come stai?
Sto bene, grazie a Dio. Mi scusa, è stato quella Santa Messa.
Ah, quella messa. E
Sì.
cosa avete mangiato oggi?
Il pollo, le hai? Il resto dei polli? Il resto del pollo, la salita, che tal Santo Padre? Lo che quedó del pollo ayer.
Sure, that Israel's Christian population values that assure.
What are they actually intending to do with AI? So if you were right about all of your predictions, what does the immediate future, say the next 10 years, look like?
Well, if you just even look at just AI itself and how that's going to change the world, you can't imagine. I can't imagine. I can't even say. All I can say is that most jobs will be gone in the next year or two. So that on a financial, economic basis is going to change everything. And of course, they've been planning for this. Elon Musk, Yuval Harari, Donald Trump, not Trump himself, but the people who control him, of course. And all of them have been planning for this hackable. Yuval Harari said humans are now hackable animals. I didn't know what he meant until I saw it in my own blood. So they want to link us all up into this AI system, and just on a normal level, like economic, financial. This is going to change everything. This is what they're trying to get rid of all the useless eaters. They've talked about the World Economic Forum all about what are we going to do with all these people once they have no use, they have no job. The machines, the robots will be doing everything. The AI. They've talked about putting them all on drugs and giving them VR headsets and putting them into basically smart cities, which they're still moving forward on a massive amount. Of course,
This is open dialogue. I mean, these are conversations that are actually being had right now.
Oh, that was had years ago. They were talking about that years ago, about how they're going to prepare for this. The whole universal basic income is part of that. Once no one has a job anymore, a big part of it, I believe, is actually just basically a worldwide genocide. They're going to kill most people with this stuff in various ways. We've already seen that with the COVID lethal injections.
Hey, they trying to put Jake on drugs, man.
What are they actually intending to do with AI? So if you were right about all...
They trying to put Jake on drugs. And, everybody essentially, trying to make them go into this AI thing. So then, they can try to read your minds and have control of you, man. That's the point, MOTB, man. But anyway, let me go to the next video.
Of your predictions.
Breaking news, Yellowstone is on the brink of a seismic disaster and a volcanic eruption following catastrophic flooding in Texas and a major earthquake in Alaska. Recently, videos showing animals migrating frantically out of Yellowstone have gone viral, sparking public panic. Could Yellowstone be the site of the next major natural disaster? According to the U.S. Geological Survey, a minor seismic event occurred earlier this week, but officials stated at the time that there was no immediate threat. However, park surveillance footage and eyewitness reports now show that bison, elk, wolves, and birds began behaving erratically and migrating en masse, abandoning their usual habitats and exhibiting signs of distress. We started noticing something unusual with the bison herd on Monday, said Ranger Scott Hendricks. They were running, not grazing. Entire herds moved north out of the valley. We've never seen anything like it. Some scientists point to historical patterns. Animals have been known to flee ahead of tsunamis, earthquakes, and other natural disasters. Experts are calling for greater integration of wildlife behavior into early warning systems, especially in geologically volatile regions like Yellowstone. With multiple natural disasters striking the U.S. recently, could Yellowstone be next? Drop your comments.
Yeah, she really popped that bitch. Stay away from these hyenas, Jake. And that's her real sister, bro. You know? Hey, man. Hyena activity, that's all I could say.
Y'all, look. Bro. Like, what? Bro, this is crazy. This is crazy. Look at this. Bro, like, did somebody put something in the water? And it's all the way back out through there, bro. Look at all those fish. Look at all of these dead fish, bro. These are alive in this little spot, as y'all can see. Look at that, bro. What in the world is going on? This is crazy. Look at this, like, even at my feet, bro. The minnows, everything, bro. This is the craziest. Bro, I've never seen nothing like this in my life, bro. Ever. Look even back there, bro. I've never seen anything like this in my life. What is going on?
Hey, they already flooding the natural springs and natural waters, you know what I'm saying? They already poisoned them, you know. Most locations, you know, you got a couple, you know. But most shit is like, you know, you trying to go out there and try to eat some fish, man, your ass gonna die, you know. So it's getting bad, man.
So the radiation exposure that we experienced was for 4 years we lived up there. They knew when they did the assessment that our air was contaminated, our soil was contaminated, and our drinking water was contaminated. So the water that my food was cooked in was contaminated. The water that I showered in every day was contaminated. Worse is the fact that my wife had 3 miscarriages. One of the guys that I worked with, his wife had 7. All 4 of my children were born with birth defects or significant health problems. It's not their fault. I'm not saying it's mine, but I brought it home. It was my DNA that was permanently altered from low-dose, long-term ionizing radiation exposure. I am asking that Congress please allow us.
This is Deuteronomy 30:7. It says, "And the Lord thy God," all right, Yahweh. It says, "And the Lord Yahweh thy power will put all these curses upon thine enemies and on them that hate thee, which persecuted thee."
To get the benefits.
And that's exactly what's happening. Esau's getting a taste of that, man. You know?
That every other veteran has earned.
Fuel and weaponry to Israel.
So they're talking about actually stopping the shipment of arms or aid to Israel. Those 20 countries are actually talking about stopping.
Hold on, give me 2 seconds. Two seconds, bear with me. It's 2nd Ezra, chapter 15, verse 6. It says, well, yeah, because this can apply to Esau, because wherever Esau go, everything is, messed up. It says, "For wickedness have exceedingly polluted the whole earth." All right. Wickedness, it says, "For wickedness hath exceedingly polluted the whole earth, and the hurtful works are fulfilled." That's one. It was another one I was looking for, though. Two seconds. Come on. This is Isaiah 24 and 5. It says, I'm gonna start at 4. It says, the earth mourneth and fadeth away, the world languisheth and fadeth away, the haughty people of the earth do languish. Verse 5, it says, "The earth also is defiled under the inhabitants thereof, because they have transgressed the laws, changed the ordinances, and broken the everlasting covenant." All right. It's another one too. That's a good one, but it was another one though. I'll probably end up finding it. Let me see. 2 seconds. This is a good one too. Micah 2:10. "Arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest, because it is polluted. It shall destroy you even with a sore destruction." You know, this whole side, man, everything is polluted, bro. Food, the air, everything, bro. No matter where this devil go, everything is polluted, man. Whatever this motherfucker touch turns into soot and death.
The docking at a port, if they think it's going to go to aid the arms shipments to Israel, that's a big deal.
Which might be used to commit or facilitate violations of humanitarian law, of international human rights law, and of the prohibition of genocide in Palestine, in keeping with the state's peremptory legal obligation to cooperate towards preventing genocide and other violations.
So what he's saying is like, hey, we're actually the ones upholding international law, not the United States, not Israel. We're the ones who are actually going to do this now, because nobody pays attention to the ICJ or the ICC. Nobody pays attention to the UN resolutions. Nobody does anything. Those are just words. Well, we're actually going to do something. We're actually going to block ports. We're actually going to stop ships from docking that are going to take any kind of aid to Israel that they can use to do their genocide. That's what he's saying, that they're actually going to do now. State countries are actually joining together now because they see that the United Nations isn't going to do anything. The United States isn't going to do anything. Europe, the European Union isn't going to do anything. So now these 20 countries are coming together to do something.
Implementing norms by all legal measures at their disposal.
The Hague Group is a bloc of currently 8 states launched on 31st of January in Dutch city that stated a goal of holding Israel accountable under international law. The Hague Group's formation in January marked a turning point in the global response to exceptionalism and the broader erosion of international law. The same spirit will animate this Bogota conference, where the assembled states will send a clear message. No nation is above the law, and no crimes will go unanswered. Together, we will work to introduce concrete legal, diplomatic, and economic measures that can urgently halt Israel's destruction of the Palestinians. So legal, diplomatic, and economic measures. So they're, and I like they use the word concrete. Israel's war on Gaza, increasingly condemned by experts and governments as a genocide, has killed more than 57,000 Palestinians. I don't even know how they come up with that number, because I bet it's more closer to 400,000. Because most of those people,
I've always thought that.
Most of those people are underneath that rubble, and nobody's going. So it's way more than 57,000 people. I can guarantee you that.
Just like Lahaina is more than 150 people.
The onslaught has left the Palestinian enclave barely habitable and left 2 million people starving. The Palestinian genocide threatens our entire multilateral system. Colombia cannot be indifferent in the face of apartheid and ethnic cleansing. In Bogota, the assembled states will not only reaffirm... A
lot of fighters all moving in the same direction. They say they're defending the women and children and the civilians who are still inside a very contested area. The situation is very, very fluid. And the front line has moved backwards and forwards. We've gone with it. So 1 minute, the tribal fighters are going forward. Next minute, they're being pushed back. All the way along, you can see there are houses, homes, businesses, not just being burned by either side, but also being looted. We've seen quite a serious amount of looting and lots of personal possessions being taken out. These tribes are all from Syria. They very much say that they want peace in Syria. They don't want any outside interference. They're, of course, referring to the Israeli involvement just recently. And they say they're ready to make peace with the Druze and all the ethnic minorities. But they say there are militia, criminal gangs, and they want them to go, and they're not going to stop until they feel they've rooted them out. This is the sectarian violence that was feared would happen in Syria. Now, the Syrian government forces don't seem to be around here anyway. The Israeli forces have warned that they do not want any armed people, any armed militia, any armed gangs operating in this area. They want this to be a demilitarized zone. It really isn't right now.
My sister Dr. Lost and I after getting eyelash extensions. But it wasn't just any appointment. The woman who did it used super glue instead of proper lash adhesive. At first, it was just a burning feeling. She thought it was normal. A few hours later, her eyes started to swell, and the pain became unbearable. She rushed to the hospital, but it was already too late. The glue had caused a chemical burn, and the infection spread quickly. Doctors did everything they could, but nothing could save her eye. Since then, she's been trying to rebuild not just her face, but her confidence. And even through the pain, the loss, the fear, she chose to keep going, because being strong was the only choice she had left. Some days, she cries herself to sleep. Other days, she smiles as if nothing happened. Let this video serve.
Yeah, I bet money she's still wearing motherfucking lashes. I bet money. Hold on. I just got this out the other day. Hold on. Cause Jake's so fucking simple, man. It's Jeremiah 4:22. For my people is foolish. They have not known me. They are sottish children, and they have none understanding. They are wise to do evil, but to do good they have no knowledge, man. They have no knowledge. No knowledge. That's what happens when you put in them cum buckets. Cum umbrellas, I mean, on top of your face. You know?
As a wake-up call to all women who love eyelash.
Fuck is you wearing eyelashes on your eyelashes for?
There are reports that at least 20 people have been injured after a vehicle ploughed into a crowd in Los Angeles. The LA Fire Department said there were multiple patients at the scene on Santa Monica Boulevard, close to Hollywood, with reports of an unknown vehicle hitting a crowd. Initial reports coming in 1 hour ago. Over there, it's about 3:30 a.m.
Now, the Los Angeles Fire Department has issued this statement. They've said that there are initial reports of an unknown vehicle into the crowd. There are 20 plus patients involved, with up to 5 in a critical condition. 8 to 10 are in a serious condition, and 10 to 15 are in a fair condition. The Los Angeles Fire Department is coordinating patient triage and transport at this time.
Breaking news, Donald Trump selects Joe Kent as his Director of National Counterterrorism. Joe Kent is a known Proud Boy. He also called January 6th insurrectionists political prisoners. He doesn't get more white national than you could get. And he's in charge of the people who monitor terrorists, or like see the list of people or look into people who may be a terrorist in the United States. It's direct.
It's getting closer and closer to them trying to come down on the ministry. Akim, you know that. Well, the elders of Great Millstone, all right? The elders and apostles of Great Millstone on down, we already know this, you know. But for you, that don't know, hey, now you know.
Changed at this point.
Because that's what they're going to try to label, that's what they're going to be trying to label. And it's definitely not true, because, hey man, we just let you know the message, at the end of the day, tell our people to repent and come back to the Heavenly Father and His Son, Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. All right. The Father, Yahweh, and His Son, Yahweh Shai. That's all. And that, it's going to be changes, It's going to be big changes.
Like, it's not even people are qualifying for the fucking job. Robert F. Kennedy literally sat up there and said that diseases are fucking fake, damn near. These are fucked up times, bro. This, what the
Breaking news now this morning out of Los Angeles. The fire department says more than 20 people are hurt after a car drove into a crowd in East Hollywood. It happened on Santa Monica Boulevard. Authorities say up to 5 people are in critical condition and several more are seriously hurt.
Breaking news. Donald J. Trump opened 2 dams in California that he believed would help LA with the fires. None of the water actually went to LA. 2, farmers on Twitter and other places, social media, the news, are complaining and outraged because the water from the dams flooded their farmlands. This is per Twitter. Just go to Twitter, go to the Explore page, go down like 1 block, then click dams in California or water flow. Type in water flow in California, dams open in California. There's literally threads of people who are pissed off in the Central Valley because their farmlands were flooded. And all Trump said is, oh, they should have listened to me 6 years ago. They should be happy. Listen, I'm not left leaning at all. I am a partaker in common sense. And this was stupid as fuck.
We're going to break down each part of the eastern flank deterrence line.
The top U.S. Army commander in Europe with a stark warning to Russia days after its former prime minister proposed launching preemptive strikes against NATO countries. General C.D. Donahue says NATO has a plan to neutralize and seize Russia's Kaliningrad, a missile-packed Russian exclave between Poland and Lithuania. Quote, our forces and allies can wipe it off the face of the earth faster than ever before. Adding urgency to a new mega weapons deal being hashed out by Presidents Trump and Zelensky.
Ukraine can sell to the United States of America a large number of drones. In turn, I am discussing with President Trump so that Ukraine can buy the weapons, primarily air defense. This is truly a mega deal, win-win.
The U.S. would gain from Ukraine's battlefield expertise with converted off-the-shelf commercial drones like the ones that recently launched a surprise attack from behind enemy lines and took out most of Russia's long-range bombers.
The U.S. bases are very vulnerable to this exact type of attack.
The Army just signed a $43 million contract with Epirus for a high-powered microwave counter-drone technology known as Leonidas, which creates a field of energy that pulses and fries incoming drones.
It is similar, very much so, to a force field like we've seen in the movies.
Defense Secretary Hegseth, building on the Replicator program started under the last administration, launched a new drone initiative earlier this month to cut through Pentagon red tape so the U.S. military can buy drones en masse. In the meantime, Ukraine says it already has the technology and can help the U.S. military.
There's a lot of shit going on. Oh,
the worst part of breaking up with a cheater isn't even to break up or the fuck.
Hold on, man. Y'all know you always see this old bitch. Hold on. All right, my bad, y'all. I had to I sent somebody a message. So here it is, man. It's a woman who's well overdue, you know. And it's just, you know, it is what it is. But just listen to what she got to say. Right?
The fact that I don't have a warm body of breaking up with a cheater isn't even to break up or the fucking cheating. It's not the cheating. It's not the betrayal. It's not the fact that I don't have a warm body to sleep next to. No, the worst part of breaking up with the cheater is I am going to go months.
Men can't cheat, right? A man can have as many wives as he wants to. But now she's not going to take accountability and say, well, it's the man's fault, basically. Watch. We're going to go back. We're going to show y'all.
No, the worst part of breaking up with a cheater isn't even to break up or the fucking cheating. It's not the cheating. It's not the betrayal. It's not the fact that I don't have a warm body to sleep next to. No, the worst part of breaking up with the cheater is I am going to go months, consecutive months without anybody buttering this baked potato.
Hey. And guess what? That's you know, you fucking nigga women, man. Y'all be like, oh, I got my rose, I got this, I got that toy, I got this. I don't need no man. I don't need this. I don't need that. And then when you get with a man, and you know for damn well if this nigga is in his 20s, maybe even 20s, 30s, however old the dude is, man. You know what I'm saying, bruh? He's smashing some other chick. Men is not made to just be with one woman, man. You know, and these women can't understand that. So now she like, well, since he already done went off and he didn't did his thing, instead of just being like, well, you might as well just go ahead and stay with him. You know what I'm saying? I can understand if you make sure you get tested, you know, stuff like that. But you better off just playing the side bitch. You too old, Keisha, to be trying to play the main woman. You got kids. You know what I'm saying? You got kids, man. Dudes ain't really trying to. You gonna have to be the side bitch. Dude ain't trying to be laid up next to you. Then eventually, then the little girl gonna be looking at him. No, man. No. You know, and she's mad because guess what? If you would have never just broke up with your fucking baby daddy in the first place, or the first man you ever even had sex with, you probably would have been cool by now. You would have never even been on the internet. But it's these type of bitches you gotta stay away from. Stay away from women like this, man. I'm gonna rewind this shit.
You know, the worst part of breaking up with a cheater isn't even to break up or the fucking cheating. It's not
Again, a man can't cheat. Moving forward.
the cheating, it's not the betrayal, it's not the fake that I don't have a warm body to sleep next to. No, the worst part of breaking up with the cheater is I am going to go months, consecutive months without anybody buttering this baked potato. Ain't nobody playing pickleball. My ovaries not anytime soon. And it's not because I'm so heartbroken.
What ovaries? Your shit got cobwebs on it.
I couldn't possibly
And then it ain't like you, man, I ain't about to even go in.
move on. It's because there's a vetting process. It's a vetting process. I'm not fast. I'm not easy. I don't like giving out this strawberry flavored Gorilla Grip Kucheche to lames and fucking goofies. I need to make sure he's a real one. And that takes time. A man can only...
Well, you didn't ran past, the last one you had was probably a real one, but you didn't want to take that side bitch action and shut the fuck up. You know, let's move on, man. Like what I said, another hyena. Stay away from these hyenas, Jake. You know, stay away from them because when you leave them, this is what they turn into, Jake. Leave these hyenas alone, man.
So we just had a very interesting interview before the commercial break with an anthropologist and a community leader of the Lemba community in Zimbabwe. You talk a lot about this. You do a lot of coursework. So what do you have to say first about the Lemba and what makes them unique as opposed to some of the other groups that are considered lost tribes?
Correct. Lemba are fascinatingly unique because we could trace them directly to the oldest Jewish exile community in the world from Yemen. And the Yemenite Jewish community, when they came back to Israel, they had customs that were preserved for 2,000 years uninterrupted. Even some of their pronunciation of Hebrew letters were unique as far as how the Ashkenazim and Sephardim pronounced their letters, but no one challenged them saying it's unauthentic. It was as authentic it can get. And so when you see the Lemba all the way down to the bottom of Africa, tracing their roots to the Yemenite Jewish community, building in the same structures and having certain traditions that are the same, and no one else in South Africa, it shows you the far-reaching scale of these Israelite customs and traditions. And not to mention, obviously, we speak about the genetic Kohen phenomenon amongst the Lemba people, that a large percentage of them have a genetic marker to be from the Kohanim, from the priests of Israel.
So we just had a very interesting...
There you go. So why the fuck that dude still have on the hat? Hey, he probably just know he gotta do what he lives best life, I guess, before he go into captivity. Isaiah 14 and well, matter of fact, let's grab it. I'm gonna have to have a couple words with the leader of my camp because there's been some shit going on. This Isaiah chapter 14 verse 1 says, "For the Lord will have mercy on Jacob," which is Israelites, "and will yet choose Israel and set them in their own land. And the strangers shall be joined with them, and they shall cleave to the house of Jacob. And the people shall take them and bring them to their place, and the house of Israel shall possess them in the land of the Lord, all right, Yahweh, for servants and handmaids, and they shall take them captives whose captives they were, and they shall rule over their oppressors. And that's exactly what is about to happen very, very, very soon. Whole cruise ship on fire. You go another rescuers, 27 bodies.
A husband had to watch in horror as his wife was killed by a hippo while they were on an African safari, and he is now suing the tour company. In May of 2024, Craig Manders and his 70-year-old wife Lisa were on day 5 of their 10-day African safari tour in Zambia. They were at Lower Zambezi National Park when they saw a hippo submerged in the river. The tour guide also sees this, and he decides to walk the entire group down to the riverbank so they could get a closer look. And by close, I mean literal feet away, but the group felt safe because they were with the tour guide, and that tour guide was carrying a rifle. But for some reason, the tour guide left the group all by themselves and walked away. And minutes later, the hippo charged the group coming out of the water and onto the land and attacked Lisa. And her husband had to watch as the hippo picked her up with its mouth, lifted her off the ground, started shaking her around, and crushed her head and body with its bite. Craig is now suing the company for an undisclosed amount, but rest in peace to his poor wife. Let me know what you guys think about this. And as always,
the animals is turned against them.
Breaking news, a 7.5 magnitude earthquake has hit off the coast of Russia. There are now tsunami watches for Hawaii, as well as the peninsula of Russia right here where you can see the purple. This is a major earthquake, and the National Tsunami Warning Center has issued an alert to Hawaii that states that within hours there could be waves coming to Hawaii and
The West continues to provoke us, pushing weapons, troops, and false promises deeper into our region, closer to our borders. And now, under the guise of peace, they rush Patriot missile systems into Ukraine, as if this will bring stability. Let me be clear, Russia will not sit idle. We are prepared to act, and if necessary, we will consider preemptive measures to neutralize threats before they materialize. This is not a threat, it is a warning. The so-called 50-day ultimatum set by the former American president is nothing more than political theater. Ukraine continues to receive weapons, not diplomacy, and NATO pretends to stand for peace while preparing for escalation. They talk of urgency, of moving fast, but it is they who bring danger closer, not us. Russia has always been open to dialogue, but if dialogue is replaced with missiles and ultimatums, we will respond with strength. Our security is not negotiable.
Something smells in New Orleans' iconic French Quarter. People can't seem to get enough of it. A fresh, and dare I say freshly squeezed departure from what streets like Bourbon were previously known for.
Beer, urine, it was stinking, bro.
And that's where lemons come in. This story is all about making lemonade. Sort of. It's the scent that for months has been permeating the air and bringing a new zest to the famous neighborhood, courtesy of large tankers and pressure washers literally delivering a lemon fresh scent to streets and sidewalks. Do you like that lemon fresh scent?
I do. It's better than pee.
The brains behind these lemon-scented lanes is Sidney Torres and his company, IV Waste.
Every day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year, we're spraying in the French Quarter, cleaning it, and making sure that it's kept clean.
Torres says his patented super fresh scent is more than just about smell. It disinfects too.
We couldn't go with a strawberry. We're in the South. We had to use lemon, so we went with lemon. And it smells good, it's fresh, and it's clean.
There's nothing like a lemon fresh scent.
But it could.
That states that within hours there could be waves linked to Hawaii and hitting, quote, a tsunami is issued for the state of Hawaii effective.
4 people died, and at least 11 others have gotten sick from a rare flesh-eating bacteria found in warm coastal waters. Of the dozens of species of the bacteria, it's Vibrio vulnificus that has health officials worried, as infections can be severe and life-threatening for some. It can spread from raw seafood, mainly oysters, or through an open wound in direct contact with seawater.
Anyone can get this infection, and sometimes it can be pretty mild, but it can spread pretty rapidly.
Doctors recommend covering open wounds with bandages and clean cuts and scratches thoroughly if exposed to seawater. And if you are at risk, avoid eating raw seafood. Oh, look at that! Whoa! Was that a compressor stall? What's going on?
Y'all, I just can't with this world anymore. So I just found out about what goes on in Afghanistan and what happens to little boys in Afghanistan. And if you have a soft stomach, you probably want to keep scrolling, okay? This is one of those times where viewer discretion really is advised. So young boys in Afghanistan don't have a real childhood, okay? And what I mean by that is there's a documentary that came out called The Dancing Boys of Afghanistan. And what will happen is that in these villages, they will choose young boys, and typically it'll be a few of them. It'll be one per village, and they'll have this young boy parade himself around to sell himself to all of the men in the village. In each village, one of these boys belong, quote unquote, to the men in the village where they can do whatever they want to them. When I say whatever they want, I mean whatever they want. You could think of what they do to these dancing boys. And they're always just as young as around 7, 8, 9 years old. So really young little boys. And they will... So basically everybody you see in the crowd is a sodomite. You know? They're going to tell me to free up space. So I'll end it right here, and then I'll continue the next on another video. With that, until next time, shalom.